Okay, we're live.
Right. Okay. Hello and good afternoon. So today we are having another episode of our Estate 123 podcast. And we have Wei Yong and Joe here with us to talk about today's topic, which is the Klang Valley flood.
Yeah,
So,
hi.
okay, hi
Hi,
everybody.
hi everyone. Hi.
Okay, so everybody knows that there's been some really bad flood in the Klang Valley over this weekend, and a lot of people have been stranded in their homes or anywhere on the highway. So today we'll be talking about property related to this kind of flooding situation. So one of the factors that contribute to this kind of bad flooding is climate change. So we'd like to ask your opinion on, will climate change become a factor when choosing property, when you're choosing to buy property? So maybe you can start with
Yeah.
Joe. Do you have, what's your opinion on
Oh
this?
yeah, yeah. Hi, Laura. Yeah, I think to my personal opinion, I think climate change is actually quite real these days. It is not by today, not talking about the news of in between the world leaders, to discuss about what you're going to do on the carbon output and stuff like that. But if you look back in the last 10 to 15 years, I think everyone have a real feel what's going on. Just like this Klang Valley first thing, I think we have to offer our like our help or our wish for them is all safe, because of this sudden event. Possibly just because of coming from other country, hurricanes, the holding guns, haywire and cows. Actually, I think it's one of the worst in this region. But if you look at it, it's still somehow mostly affected area is those like the properties which is at the sea level or lower than sea level. Do you see
Especially
that?
those like near to the river.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
Near
lake area.
Yeah. But
near river, real lake, near dams. I mean, these all are, I think, kena kuat at this time. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So actually, climate change is not a new thing in Malaysia or even the world. The world, because I mean, for the past few years we have like really strange weather phenomenon. Sometimes it is very hot. There's no rain at all, or sometimes we have too much rain, like this past weekend, which caused all this flood. So uh, is there anything that you can do when you're choosing a property to buy or rent? Is there something that you would consider, like when you're trying to buy a property? Would you take this climate into consideration?
I go first, Young.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, yeah, I did actually. Um, in fact, even before these incidents happened, I used to get my casual, uh, the casual tough, watch, G
Mm.
Shock. Every time when I go to look at the properties, I will try to look into the sea level of how high is that this area is over to the to the sea level.
Oh,
So make an example where I'm staying in, like for example the Bandar Utama and Damansara Perdana. These places are almost about 400 to 600 above sea level. So that is why I you seldom see any those like flooding happen in this area due to because it's physically actually higher. I mean than the ground
ah,
than the level. So it takes a very, very worst case scenario only may hit this area. So that's why it's important. No matter residents, I think even factories, imagine when you have factories, even 10 years or 20 years, once in a blue moon, you hit this problem, it may completely destroy you if you do not have
yeah.
preparing all these things.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then,
use a cashew juice shot. Very easy to see. Trust me.
okay. Didn't know there
okay.
was this kind of function. Okay, Wei Yong, what's your opinion on
Yeah.
this?
I think on top of what Joe shared is also something that we can consider is to really see the area that we're going to buy or rent, right? We check in fact we check Google Map, we can see there are areas that they'll show like nearby there's a river or is there a lake or is it nearby certain place where there's a lot of constructions, because I notice nowadays even places with construction is also impacted by all this when it rains, they will have some flash flood happening in that area.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's particularly, I mean, I would say in some of the near mountain projects, when they are doing cutting the trees, due to building some new projects, that actually will impact the water flow. So that's artificial, to be honest, artificial, and also both natural are key things to consider these days.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I think like what happened in the Perak case, right, where the reserve area there, they really cut out the trees, and then that's what happened. I think just a few months back, right, when there's a heavy rain, then all the water flow down from the bukit nearby.
There
yeah,
is I think it's Cameron Harden case. It's one of the always in discussion about this case. So yeah, it's according to what you mentioned. Near river, near lake, you got to be really double careful these days. Yeah, because
Yeah, that's right.
we didn't really know what will happen. That is the climate change. I mean the it's real, it's coming, but we don't know what will happen. So it's practically if you can do something to check the sea level, you have a better chance to eliminate this problem. You know.
Yeah,
Perhaps even the path to go home don't bypass the river just like so you would we get caught. I mean like few thousand cars on the route, just like the last weekend, very unexpected. I think because of we are not used to it in our country, so that's why our warning system is not that good. So that is why we I think the whole area being caught up in this situation.
yeah. I think
yeah,
Joe has a point there. The one about having multiple roads, because when choosing property, I think it's good to find somewhere that is accessible not just by one single road, but also maybe multiple. So that, like some people during the flood, they try to go out from exit A, but then they cannot, so they try to go exit B, something like that.
Yeah, true, true.
yeah. That's right. But, on top of that, I think one more thing to really consider is like the place that we want to buy is like what I have, but what I get is more to considering places which is really on the hillside.
Hillside.
uh, yeah, so
Yeah,
something for me, this is what I think, like, because for me I feel a bit safer because like when it rains the whole of Friday and even Saturday, right? Even though I see there's news people places around is just flooding already, but our area is still considered safe.
Mm. I
Mm,
think generally, I mean somewhere, yeah, something that is high and has,
yeah,
I mean, support in in forms of like you say, a hill should be
yeah,
good. But I think we also have
yeah.
to consider, because hill can have
There's no
landslide.
logging, yeah.
Yeah,
But
like in the
provided the
Cameron
area
Highlands.
is, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's good to find somewhere that is a bit higher and a hill or something, but
higher
also
ground, higher ground.
have to make sure that uh, there's not much like logging or like development that can
Yes.
affect the quality of the land there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
Right.
climate
as,
climate change is
as
very
long as yeah very real
vicious cycle.
as long as 200 to 300 feet above sea level, I mean that is quite safe, to be honest. I feel that. Yeah, perhaps even the forest, if you do not want to be go too near to forest or areas that with pit fires, during the dry time you have another issue
Yeah,
which is burning, and
yeah.
burning that will
Oh yeah,
be
that's
That one is
it's
also
a
another factor of climate change, not just the
big
water
problem.
but also fire.
Big problem. I see many reserve forests or even near mountain area these days also may have this problem because of too dry, and they have
Ah,
burnings, artificial or
yeah.
non-artificial, and near some. I mean that become a problem because of the air pollution. So these two things are key things. But flood is even much dangerous. I have some tips in from Australia before, where you want to buy houses in the suburb area is very dangerous. If you go with near to the forest, because they have those kind of like uh, summer forest fire, which is very severe these
Ah,
days. And then every year it's getting more severe and severe due to the climate change. That's why you see it is something that is which is real. You got to do something about it. I mean, when you invest in property, put into your selection criteria. I think that's very crucial.
hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So I think that's about it for our climate change talk today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
good.
So
I mean,
just to sum it up, try to check the like how high is the property that you're going to buy. Check the how
Yeah,
high is the sea
just a
level.
G-Shock watch will do.
Is it
Yeah.
maybe phone also got this kind of function?
Phone, I'm not so sure. I think the G-Shock
Mm,
watch should have all three sensors. Then you can have barometer, arometer, and all these things. Then basically you know the sea level where are you standing there from.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, very very effective.
yeah,
I
and then
generally also I think in terms of like feng shui or something, people would prefer somewhere higher compared to lower. So this should also be one of the factor some people
Yeah.
might consider.
No, I heard before there's one feng shui master say when everywhere universal, all the rich people will tend to stay in the half hill or the hill area. So don't know why. Maybe it's because of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
and also make sure I think use technology, use something like Google Map or some kind
Yeah.
of map to survey the area, see how high. Because I think Google map, if we use the map, right, we can actually see the level as well, the surrounding of the property.
Yeah, you can do so. I think you can do
Yeah,
so.
Yep. And also, of course, besides flood, which will need high ground, you also need to consider other factors like the land, whether there's over development or over logging, which could
yeah,
cause landslide during heavy rain. And then also in extreme like hot weather, there could be uh, the what do you
fire,
call it? Yeah, the
the
yeah
bushfire.
fire. So, and then what other kind of so-called natural disaster that could happen in Malaysia?
Yeah,
True.
So,
yeah,
and then of course you would also need to consider all the other normal things when choosing property, like the location, like the
transport.
accessibility. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that's we covered most of the climate factors for choosing property. Okay, so thanks Joe and Wei Yong for today's session.
You have a good day.
thanks.
I mean,
All
Laura.
right.
Thanks,
Okay, and
John.
All
stay
Have a
right.
good day.
safe.
Yeah, have a
Stay
good
safe.
day.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
All right.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.